you say there will be repercussions for Pelosi's visit. We're already seeing a blockade of sorts around Taiwan. What do you think we'll see?
Well, I don't think that President Xi, at the end of the day, really wants to provoke conflict here. His words seem to indicate that he's not out to pick a fight in response to this action that has taken place, which has been awkward to say the least, particularly in Washington, where you have the president, the national security, military reportedly discouraging this, the speaker going ahead, others saying it's the speaker's right, and it is. But again, the timing of this is very difficult in particular because President Xi, let's remember, he is in election season as well. He's 3 months away from the gathering of the Chinese Communist Party, which will presumably re-elect him for an unprecedented third term as party leader. That will be followed by his re-election as the president and the head of the military commission. He wanted a smooth path to this. This particular trip at this time and in this way really does force him to be an ultra-nationalist. He has to show that he's tougher than all the rest. So you will see these live fire exercises all around the island of Taiwan. You'll see aircraft back into the airspace and so forth. All of this, I think, we will see. And I would suspect this may play out over some time as well. This will not just be, a spasm of activity right now. There could be further repercussions down the line. There are also some economic sanctions that have been imposed on Taiwan as a result of this as well. So this will take some time to play out. I don't see conflict right now. I don't think that's in his or China's interests, but we clearly have positioned our forces and our capabilities so that we can do what is necessary if it comes to that.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and her delegation were seen leaving Taiwan's capital. Pelosi gave a powerful speech. She made it clear that the U.S. stands in support of the self-governing island. China is calling Pelosi's visit to Taiwan a, quote, complete farce, and responded with plans for military exercises around the island. CNN's Will Ripley is live in the Taiwanese capital. Also joining us is CNN national security analyst Beth Sanner. Will, what is the latest from there on what has been such an anticipated visit all around?
Well, there's two different storylines that we've been following. One, of course, is Nancy Pelosi making this historic trip, giving a speech about democracy and friendship and solidarity with Taiwan, and meeting with, from political leaders to business leaders like TSMC, the chip manufacturer, visiting sites, that are significant historically here. But then, literally just miles off of the coast of Taiwan, you have the Chinese military assembling at 6 different locations around the island. And these exercises, Taiwanese officials have basically called it tantamount to almost a blockade or a practice for a blockade to try to stop supplies from coming into Taiwan. If there was some sort of a military conflict, a blockade is the first thing that you would see as a warning sign here. So China essentially simulating that. And now, as a result, Taiwan is renegotiating air travel routes, trying to find ways to get planes through the Philippines or Japan instead of trying to fly over the Chinese military. Nancy Pelosi's plane actually had to take a 3-hour detour arriving here to avoid the South China Sea and to avoid heavily militarized areas that she might have to fly over. So this is very serious business. Even vessels are being rerouted as a result of this. And I think the crucial thing to watch now, Brianna, is what happens now that Nancy Pelosi's plane has left. What does China do now? Because this is the time that these exercises are really due to kick off in large scale.
And Beth, that's where I want to take this for your analysis. Look, we've had past speakers of the House visit Taiwan. And recently in April, we had a bipartisan Senate delegation visit Taiwan. But clearly the reaction to Nancy Pelosi's visit is different. She's been a longtime critic of the regime in Beijing. But what is your take on this announcement of military exercises and this encircling of the island that Will just described?
I think we have to take this and put this into a broader context. On one hand, this is definitely about Speaker Pelosi's visit and the fact that she's such a high-ranking official. She's part of Biden's party. She and others can't separate what she's doing from us just poking a finger in their eye. But the bigger context here is that this is about U.S.-China relations being at the bottom of the barrel. It is about China-Taiwan relations, and those are going nowhere. The idea of a peaceful resolution to unification looks far and farther than it's ever been. and the fact that China itself isn't doing very well in the year that Xi was supposed to have his best year ever. So there's a bigger context here, and it's not just about Pelosi's visit.
Do you think, Beth, this is going to change how U.S. officials are approaching visits, are approaching outreach going forward when they look at this pretty overwhelming response, pretty dramatic response that we're seeing from China?
I think that we will have to calibrate. I mean, I think about U.S. visits and U.S. meetings. These are instruments of power. And so, what I would say is that we have to be very calibrated in how we use these things and understand the consequences. Not that we should avoid what we want to do, but that we have to understand and do it purposefully.
It's a very, very interesting point there, and we'll have to see if that's how they proceed going forward. Because every visit, certainly China is approaching this as sort of a poke in the eye, as you said. Beth, thank you so much. Our thanks to Will as well.